right. So this is a very brief tutorial on how to do cross stitching. Huzzah. So I'm actually just gonna start it in the middle because I don't know, I'm weird like that. Anyways, so the materials you need the thread, you need a pattern, and you need material. So I'm gonna be doing some multitasking, so if you're looking for like professionalism, you are not going to get it. This is also just kind of show off like the actual in progress to my one piece pattern. Anyways, needles, scissors, thread, pattern, and material. Pattern, there's a bunch of websites that sell some patterns. Uh, the main thing you want to notice on the pattern is one, it's something you're going to want to do. I mean, this takes hours, hours, days, weeks, months. It depends on the size of the pattern you're going with. Um, the one piece pattern I got, which I'll probably link it in like a pinned comment. It's 16 PDF pages. But it was only like $5. I'm gonna show off a little bit of it. But yeah, uh, pick something that you're going to want to do, because if you don't, then you're gonna lose interest, and it's just gonna be like time going away. So the material you're going to get has holes in it, um, and it's in a grid. Uh, the bigger the number, the closer the grid or smaller the grid's going to be. So like kind of a tighter pattern. Um, if you want like a real uh I moved the pattern there and back and now everything's so much brighter. That's kind of weird. Anyways, I'm not going to do any editing. Oh, there we go. Back to being a shady individual. If you're trying to go for fine details, you're going to want a big number, so small blocks. If you want something like pixelated, like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, then I would get big icons. But otherwise, um, also, huskies are annoying with this. Dog hair will get into your pattern and it'll drive you insane. Anyways, um, wouldn't it be funny if this video took off and it's like, okay, I should just never record video game videos ever. Anyways, um, one thing you need to do is kind of math. So if like this pattern is like 4,600 squares long, so I needed to make sure like the material I got, like width wise and length wise, accommodated it. Because if not, I'd I would be really upset with myself. Um, but the patterns should say it. They should have some kind of markers on it, or if they're small enough, you can just guesstimate. Um, and one thing I would recommend doing is when you get the material, it's just going to be frayed on the ends. So I just took tape and taped it up. So what will happen if you don't is it'll start fraying at the edges here. But that's not such a big deal on this because this here to here is like the extra material I don't need. So that's not such a big deal. At the bottom, it's enough. Oh my God, it's enough where I don't have to worry about it. So All right, we talked about material. Needles, is you can use just standard embroidery needles. These are made by, I think, DMC, the company that makes all of the thread that's numbered. Um, it's fairly easy to get. I have spare. One of my one of my doggos is sleeping. Um, so real fast, I guess we can talk about thread. Uh, I take thread and just throw it on this. That's the number, that's the symbol on the pattern I'm using, which I'll show in a second. But it's this isn't the entire thing you're going to use. If you can look, it's it breaks off into like 5 or 6 pieces. The individual pieces, like that, is what you're going to thread. Also, I'm sorry, I have terrible maintenance hands. So, you can use multiples if you want to give your project like a little thicker, bolder outlines. Mm. All right, so yeah, I just get that wet. It just focuses on, there. Hello, Kyrie. So this is weird doing it like this. But yeah, you use saliva just to keep the thread together. You put through the hole. As you can see, it is in fact through the hole. Grab it, tie it. I like how she jumped onto the couch and then just farted. You can do a single knot, you can do a double knot. All right. Then I can show this pretty fast. There's a couple of different ways to do it. So, like the idea you're gonna do is you're making X's. You're making lots of X's. So, so let's say I start off a hole here. I'm gonna pull the thread through, and I'm gonna just make a diagonal. You can make the diagonals any way you want. I'm trying to keep them all bottom left, top right, then bottom right, top left. But we have our first little diagonal line. So I'm going to then take the needle, push it through to where I want it to go, and pull some of it through. Then I look at the back. Then I'm going to try not to make too much of a mess. Do, 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 do. So yeah, I've been watching Bering Sea Gold because it's just something to put on. You're going to want to listen to music or listen to something that doesn't require much information. I'm one of those, you know, weebs that requires subtitles instead of dubbing. So, I wouldn't ever want to watch anime while doing this, but oh my god, I'm doing a stellar job. All right. So it kind of got tangled up right there. So what can happen is you can take the needle and actually go through your thread, which you can kind of see where I did that. Yeah. All right. So, because thread is like 79 cents and this is like losing, you know, fractions of a penny, I'm just going to cut it. Now, what I should do is just edit that out, but you know what? It's a good training thing. Okay. And again, I'm just going to talk about like terminating. So back to where I was. Flip it around. All right. Whee! All right. So this is like the excess and it's pulling back the end of it. I take the loop, put it over the excess, like pinch the end of it, and pull it tight. That way I can pull it generally and it doesn't immediately come loose. And then you just go back to doing X's. We'll put a happy X here. We'll put a happy X here. And at some point, you're going to either run out of thread or you're going to get to a point where you need to swap out your colors. I'm just getting it to like a theoretical, legitimate point. Okay, cool. I have a 3x. So what I do, so these like completed line segments, I'll take the needle, put it through there, and pull it tight. That way, when I cut it, it's going to resist pulling back out. Luckily, no one cares how the back looks. The back looks fugly. Some people recommend, you don't want to have long gaps in between. If you can make it look nice, go for it. Why not? Um, and sometimes it's just like how you want to do it. So right now, the page I'm working on, I'm just going to knock out all the black and then swap to a different color. Um, let's look at the pattern real fast. Whee! So there's a couple of ways this can look. Um, as you can see, the waves are black, and all these individual colors or colors slash symbols are different colors and threads you have to use. There is a key with all the patterns that will say this symbol indicates color or DMC color 114, 138, 3082. So you just need to make sure you have them. I've gotten to the point where this pattern has made me go insane. So I know waves are 310s. The infinity symbol is like 390. I'm doing a terrible job. I was going to be like savant, like these colors, these colors, these colors, but I failed. So, anyways. So, yeah. Uh a lot of it is just counting. So, I made an error here where this block I accidentally put here. Um Occasionally you're going to want to check your spacing. So between this block and this block, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 empty spaces. If it's wrong, you can either do one or two things. You can either just let it fly, see if you can adapt, or remove the thread back to blank and get back to it. Um, One thing that I would recommend is stand by. This is just something I just randomly thought of. So I did things like not prepare. But And because I'm using a laptop, I, so this box was like $2.50, and I can't clean my room worth a damn, or the house, or my yard, but I can keep that orderly, and everything's in combination. I have two boxes for this project. Yeah, this project has like 180 individual colors, so it's kind of obnoxious. But yeah, so could you make money doing this? No, you probably could not. The amount of man hours versus the amount of money you could legitimately get is so far off. It's kind of ridiculous. So I made my wife a Sailor Moon gift uh for Christmas, and she loved it, and that's cool. It took, I think, 400 hours at my job. I get roughly like $35 an hour converted. So um I had to fix my tutorial because I'm positive statistically it's not going to be three black boxes there. Anyways, oh yeah, so $35 an hour. You know what? I can do this right now. 35 times 400. Yeah, no one's gonna spend $14,000 on a Sailor Moon thing like this big, like 8 by 10. I Okay, someone would, but trying to find someone that would legitimately do that would be incredibly hard. Like the amount of effort versus the reward, it's not there. This is a skill that's relatively easy that anyone can pick up that just takes a really long amount of time. Um, why do I do it? Uh, my mom did it when I was growing up. I think she did it for relaxation. I don't think she ever tried to sell anything. Um, so I had to move to New Mexico for about 2 years while my wife and kids lived in Florida, and I needed to take up some kind of a hobby that would be low cost to try to stave off depression. Yeah, so I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. Um, all right, let me back it up. You probably can't make money creating and sewing these unless you somehow just, I don't know how you could become viral doing it. Like I'm gonna get like maybe 15 views and like one thumbs up from this video, and that's okay. If someone got like inspired to do this, cool. But no, you're not gonna get like you're not gonna get famous positively doing this. Um, but you could theoretically make patterns, and if they're good quality patterns, you could either get commissions on making patterns, which could make you money, or you just make enough quality patterns that sell that people buy. Now, I don't know the market for these patterns because I don't make patterns, and there are some programs to assist. They just don't have the DMC colors, but yeah. Anyways, if you have any questions about cross stitching, if you leave a comment, I will try to answer and walk you through any problems you have. Um, this is just something I do to kind of relax. Uh, and eventually, I'll be done with this one piece one and frame it, and maybe someone would be like, "Oh man, I want to buy it for $150,000." And let's bust out my calculator one more time. 35 times. I mean, oh no, I'm way off. Sorry. 35 times. I guess even if I got paid $100,000, I might sell it. I'd probably sell it. That's life-changing money. Anyways, uh, thank you for your interest in this. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. I hope to see you around in some of my other YouTube projects. I'm probably shaving this off. It's so annoying. Oh yeah, and if you're curious about the symbol, I got this tattoo like after my second deployment, and that's the symbol on there. I'm in a point where I could legitimately show that off. All right, you guys take care. Bye.